The Seattle Seahawks have had one of the best offenses in football this year, and big part of that is Geno Smith. And this season has not been a fluke for him. Now, everybody thought when we trade away Russell Wilson that this offense is going to go downhill. It was pretty much believed that this offense was not good anymore, not because of Russell Wilson, but because the talent on this team and this roster wasn't good enough anymore. Before I even get into the fact that Geno Smith has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL as a whole, I'm going to explain how crazy the difference between him and Russell Wilson has been this year. Now, remember, Denver gave up a huge package to get Russell Wilson. They gave up Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, the first-round pick that was the 9th pick where we got Charles Cross, and a first-round pick next year, which is now going to be the 3rd, 4th, maybe the 2nd pick in the draft, who knows, but they're playing really bad, and a 5th-round pick that got us Tariq Woolen, and a 2nd-round pick that got us Kenneth Walker. So they gave up a lot. I saw on Instagram The Score put out a graphic with the yards and touchdowns and interceptions for the past 4 games for Russell Wilson compared to Geno Smith on Sunday against the Rams. Now, obviously, Russell Wilson's going to have more yards. But in 4 games, in his last 4 games, Russell Wilson has thrown for 864 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Geno Smith just on Sunday almost threw for 400 yards at 367 and had 3 touchdowns and only 1 pick. He had more touchdowns this past Sunday than Russell Wilson has had in 4 straight weeks. I don't think it's time to be blaming the Seahawks roster anymore for the struggles the last few years. It might have been Russell Wilson, but who knows? We'll see what ends up happening long term. Geno Smith also tied Russell Wilson's Seahawks record with 6 straight games of 100-plus passer rating. Geno Smith's not only been good statistically when it comes to yards and touchdowns and less interceptions, but he's actually been good according to passer rating and a lot of advanced stats and metrics. You've probably seen this all over Twitter or Instagram or even in some of my other videos this week. But during this season, Geno Smith ranks first in the NFL with 10 games with multiple passing touchdowns. That's first in the entire NFL, not just the NFC. He also ranks first in the NFL with 9 games with 100 passer rating or more. He also ranks first in the NFL with 8 games at a 70% completion percentage or more. It's simply incredible, and Geno Smith just hasn't stopped. He keeps getting better every week. It keeps getting in the flow of the offense even better every week, and the Seahawks continue to win games. The offense in general has just been really good. The most points per game since week 7, the Seahawks sit 4th in the NFL, with a bunch of other teams that many people consider Super Bowl contenders. The Dallas Cowboys at 37 points per game, the Philadelphia Eagles at 29.5, the Cincinnati Bengals at 29 points. The Seahawks are right there at 28.7, and right below them, the Kansas City Chiefs at 28.5 points. The Seahawks offense is scoring all day, every day. They even have the best drop-back success rate in the entire NFL at 54.1%. The other teams on that list are the Chiefs at number 2, the Bills at number 3, the Bengals at number 4, and the Dolphins at number 5. Let me list off those quarterbacks. That's Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Tua Tagovailoa. But number 1 on drop-back success rate is the Seahawks in Geno Smith. And let's not forget what he's done with this extremely successful receiving core. Now, they've already been successful in their careers, like I've said, but he's making them just as good, if not better, than when Russell Wilson was there. Last week, during Week 13, both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett finished in PFF's top 10 for highest graded receivers with a minimum of 5 targets. So we're not talking about somebody who has 2 targets in a whole game. But DK Metcalf was at number 5 and Tyler Lockett at number 9. Every single week, those 2 guys are playing like top 10 receivers, and Geno Smith continues to make better connections with them, build better connections, and they just keep making the offense look easier and easier every week. And especially if a week like this, we went down with some injuries to Kenneth Walker, and even DJ Dallas got hurt at one point in the game, and there's no Travis Homer. So the game relied on guys like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Noah Fant, and of course the guy who throws the ball, Geno Smith. And once again, he came in and he delivered. Now, not only the offense has been great, but we've been winning enough games. We're now in the last playoff spot in the NFL at 7-5, but there's some really good news. That good news is that per ESPN's Football Power Index, the Seahawks have the NFL's second easiest remaining schedule. So, The final 4 of its 5 games are at home, and they're against Carolina, San Francisco, who has a backup quarterback, the Jets, and the LA Rams, who have either a backup or Baker Mayfield or whoever's going to be the quarterback. And only one road game, which is at KC, which is not an easy game, of course. But 4 of those 5 games are at home, and 4 of those 5 are very winnable games. Now, don't get me wrong. The 49ers are a great team, so are the Jets, but these are at home, and the Seahawks have been just as good as some of these teams. And there's a very good chance that they can win at least 3 or 4 of these last 5 games and propel themselves to the top of the division, or at least one of the top wild cards, and make a run in this playoffs. No matter what happens, all I know is that Geno Smith has been playing amazing football, and he's really propelling himself to get a good contract. What I want to know in the comments, if you've made it this far into the video, is what do you think the Seahawks should be giving Geno Smith next year? You obviously like to use your payroll throughout the entire roster, which is usually what really helps young quarterbacks or cheaper quarterbacks win. I know Geno's not that young, but if he can stay on a younger quarterback type of contract, which is not crazy money, not $20-30 million a year, he might be able to build something really special in Seattle and have probably the coolest comeback story we've seen in a really long time in pro sports. So I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I want to know what you guys think they should be paying him, because these last couple weeks are also going to make a big difference. So just guesses for now. But at the end of the day, it was pretty much proven this Geno Smith season has not been a fluke. Unless something changes in these last 5 weeks, he's obviously here to stay. Thanks for watching today's video. I'm Sammy on Tap, S-A-M-I on Tap. You can find me on all platforms, every single one at Sammy on Tap. So make sure you check that out. Like, subscribe, and hit the bells. And any support means the world to me. I can't believe how much we've been growing, and it means a lot. I really mean it. It means a ton. Peace.